Hey guys, Casual Collectors here. Today we're going to be going over my Studio Series collection, and I'm going to be going over each figure relatively quick. Just what some gripes that I might have with them, if I really like the figure or not, and not going to be doing any transformations or nothing, and just maybe some modifications that I've done with, starting off with our first figure, Bumblebee. This is the 01 Bumblebee, the first Studio Series Bumblebee. The first Studio Series figure in the line. Although it does look like Clunker at the moment, because I put the completely silver cannon on there. I swapped these bits on the arm where the middle right there is supposed to be gray. I swapped it to the Clunker arms, upper arms, and then also with this piece here in the center of the diaphragm. And I really like Clunker Bumblebee. The thing I really like about it the most is the clean alt mode. That is one gripe, obviously. That's not necessarily a gripe, it's just one thing I like, and I like a clean Camaro. So, that's why I'm okay with this figure. Yeah, I don't know. He's just kind of part swapped, and it's just there, but mainly for the vehicle mode. So, that's 01B. Moving on now, we are on Bumblebee Movie Bumblebee, and I really like this Bumblebee a lot as a figure. I think it's a really nice piece. I think it was done pretty well. The only gripes I have, really, is the alt mode is a little too large to fit in the scale with the rest, but alt modes for a couple characters in this line aren't going to be completely size accurate. I don't know. I really like him. Came with a bunch of accessories. I really dig all the accessories. I like the little blade. Low-key wish we honestly got 2 of these, because then I could have him dual blade, and that would be awesome. I'm not going to buy another figure just for that. But, yeah, I don't know. I dig it. It's just, personally, I prefer Camaro Bumblebee over VWB, and that's because I just love Camaros. And Bumblebee isn't even one of my favorite characters. It's just, that's just the way it is. So here's VWB. Up next is the Last Night Bumblebee. I really like how stiff the joints are. They're not like they're not too stiff, but they're not too loose, you know what I'm saying? They're just perfect joints on this figure. This is a repurpose, if I am not mistaken, from the Last Night Premiere Edition Bumblebee. And, I don't know. It's just kind of one that they threw in as a 2-pack, and I'm okay with that. That's how I got my VWB, is I just bought this with a 2-pack, and I wanted a Bumblebee that wasn't the VW, and this was actually, I got this before I got my own 1B, and so, I wanted a TransFormers B in my collection, so, that's what we got, and, I'm okay with it. I like it. Again, it's a Camaro, and I really like the Camaro, so, I really like this Bumblebee's alt mode. It's kind of a given. Moving on. Up next is legitimate Clunker B that came in the same wave, or wave 5, I guess, Of course, you can see that I do have the different parts on him, and it is Clunker B. There's the paint. You know what I'm saying? I like the paint, although I just like a clean Camaro, so that's the only reason why I like 01B. But Clunker B is the B we should have gotten from the beginning, and I'm very happy with what I was able to do with it. It just kind of makes the figure pop more, honestly, and definitely one that I'm very happy to have in my collection, because again, it's the one we should have got from the beginning. So yeah, that's Clunker B. Up next is, of course, Autobot Jazz. Now, Autobot Jazz is honestly, or just Jazz, is probably one of my favorite Studio Series figures in the line. He is one of the first I got. I bought 2 Studio Series figures at the exact same time, and Jazz was one of them. And those 2 are kind of at the top of my list, to be honest, for just overall, I don't know, screen accuracy and nostalgia and everything. Because I had the original Deluxe Jazz, and I had the original Deluxe Bumblebee, and I had a lot of figures from the first movie, and I don't know. This Jazz is just it's knocked out of the park. The only gripe I have is that after transforming it so many times, his chest cavity here is a little loose. But that's it. And I am just in love with this Jazz. Like, I don't know. It just does it. It hits all the points, man. It's just a great figure. And one that I will probably forever have on a shelf. So, that is my Autobot Jazz. Up next is, of course, Dark in the Moon Ratchet. Well, not, of course, Dark in the Moon Ratchet's up next, but one that I definitely have is Ratchet. I did not get the first movie edition Ratchet, and I would have only gotten it for the Buzzsaw. I got this because it came with a gun, and because obviously it's painted better than just complete green. So, I don't know, I really like Ratchet. I never had a nice Ratchet figure when I was younger, I guess. I did have one from the first movie, but it was like one of those lines that was a little bit more geared towards kids, and I don't know. It just had a little bit more of a cartoony feel than the movie Ratchet. So even though it was styled after the movie Ratchet, and I actually still might have that somewhere, but I don't know. I just really like the gun, of course. Actually, his gun is kind of one of my favorite Transformers weapons designs in the movies, to be honest. And I'm really happy with actually how this figure came out. And I intend to do a modification to this where I'm going to cut the rack here and then keep pegged in there just so it doesn't have that little cape, basically. And I don't know. It's a really nice figure. The arms are a little weird to articulate, but other than that, like, just looks phenomenal. So, there's Ratchet. Moving on. So, moving on from Ratchet, we have our big man himself, Ironhide. Really, the only gripe I have with it is it's a little weird to stand from now and then. It kind of falls over. But, I mean, it really just depends on how you have the feet orientated or articulated. And just, I don't know, the balance itself. It's a little weird, but he is a phenomenal figure. Ironhide, Jazz, and Starscream and Ironhide, Ratchet, Starscream, and Megatron were the characters from the first movie that I just never had a version of. Okay, I guess I never had a Bone Crusher either. But they, I don't know. If this actually may just be my first Ironhide ever, like, to ever have in a collection at all. And Studio Series Ironhide is just beautiful. I always wanted to get the other ones, but I don't know. This one is obviously the best. Like, it is super screen accurate. Transformation is really nice. The vehicle mode is super awesome, but the only gripe I guess I have with the vehicle mode is how oversized it is and how his feet kind of just dangle out the bottom by the wheels. Like, they don't dangle, they're very visible. And so, for sure, he's one that doesn't scale super well in alt mode, but his robot mode is just amazing. And there is no doubt about that. So, there's my Ironhide. Next up is Dark of the Moon Sideswipe. Yep. Dark of the Moon Sideswipe is definitely one of the best Studio Series figures in the line. He's in my top 4 for sure. Or maybe even just top 3 because he is, I don't know. It's really hard with some of these Studio Series to pick a spot because I don't want to be biased over the character, and Sideswipe is definitely, he is my second favorite Transformers character in general. First being Ultra Magnus, and, like, I don't know, I'm just a fan of Chevy too, and when I had originally seen images of the concept Corvette that they were using, I lost my marbles. And I love Corvettes, love Camaros. That's why I guess I just am fond of Movie B, as well as just Look at this side swipe. His swords are amazing. He came with the guns that you see in Dark of the Moon in the Mexican standoff against the Dreads with Ironhide. And I do have one of those to the left of me, but I'm not going to grab it. It's like up on a table and I'm on the floor. So I'm too lazy. But I don't know. He's just phenomenal. I can't put this figure down, to be honest. And I lost one of the guns because my cat got up on a table and started batting it around. And now I can't find it. It will turn up eventually. I've found stuff that my cat loses all the time. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just, Sideswipe is gorgeous. That's all I have to say. He's just so nice. And the fact that they got the seats in his alt mode, like, and they made it look good. Just, I'm very happy with this figure. And, yeah. Up next is Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime. I only do that because it is technically not Revenge of the Fallen Prime, and this is my argument. The only thing that stated it was Revenge of the Fallen Prime anywhere on the packaging and or just in general is the backdrop. The backdrop was the forest battle, or just a forest that they used for the image, not specifically the forest, but that they fought in. But, yeah. The swords, Optimus used them in the first movie. You know, the design from the first movie and the second movie Prime is damn near the exact same. So I don't see why people dub this the Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime. It kind of bothers me, to be honest. So, I mean, aside from just that, I really do like this Optimus Prime. It was the first highly articulated Prime I had ever received, or I had ever bought in, and I'm just a huge fan of it, to be honest. There are things about this Prime that I don't like about the newer Prime that came out. That being, one, I think the blue on this Prime is a better blue than the blue used on the other Prime. As well as I prefer the legs, because this part is still gray, metallic, and not completely painted blue. And this part on the fender, or the strut, or I can't English right now, I can't even vehicle right now, but this comes down, and I just like that. I think that makes them look a lot more thin and battle ready, and plus that's a thing that happens in the actual transformation in the movie. So why the other one completely negated this little mini feature is beyond me. But yeah, I'm a fan of this. Now on to the final Autobot that I have in my Studio Series collection. It is Optimus, of course. I do intend to get the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, and I do intend to get the Leader Class Prime that isn't necessarily the Leader Class. It was literally this, but with the trailer and everything. I do intend to get that because I want that alt mode paint, and I love that alt mode paint and the trailer. The trailer is dope. So, I mean, the thing I like about this is it came with the gun. I like the paint apps slightly better on this. Which is weird because I had said I like the paint apps on the other one a lot as well. But, I don't know, I just like the paint apps on the forearm was done better. I like the silver. Silver that they used on this was just better. And, I don't know, these legs being completely blue right here kind of makes it look a little cartoony. And this just makes it look bulky. And I'm not a fan. Like, literally, why can't that go down? Would have been so easy. Literally just rip the bottom part of the leg from the other Optimus, and it would have been the exact same. So, I don't know. I just really like it, and I think removing this kind of makes him look a little bit more Age of Extinction. I don't know how he was the flat bed or the flat front truck in Age of Extinction, like his G1 self. I think this kind of resembles that look slightly. So, I know it's taken out for Jetfire. I do not have Jetfire yet. I really want Jetfire really bad. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my Leader Class, or not Leader, Voyager Prime. I'm very happy with the alt mode in this one, though. Prefer it to the other one, for sure. and it just goes together better. Anyway, moving on to the cons. Starting my list of cons, we are starting with Stinger. Stinger, really nice figure. Pagani Huayra actually used to be my favorite car before the Age of Extinction movie had even been announced. The Pagani Huayra was just, I thought, a beautiful, beautiful automobile. And so I'm very happy that they ended up using one in the movies, not gonna lie. The only gripe I have about this figure is that, of course, you can't take off this, but that's part of the transformation, which is fine. I wish that they would have included a bit so you can, I don't know, put a blaster piece in there to make it look more like a blaster or something. Something little attachment like came with the KSI drone. I do not have the KSI drone though, so yeah, no, but would have been nice for sure. And I don't know, it turned out pretty well. I'm actually thoroughly impressed with the Stinger figure. I didn't think I would like it that much. Just kind of bought it because I needed more Decepticons, and I wanted, I wanted a Pagani Huayra in my collection as a Transformer, and Stinger knocks it out of the park. Really, a lot of these figures, there's not one they're like two figures that I'm like disappointed with, but majority of them are just knockouts, and this one is definitely one. Yeah, that's Stinger. Moving on. Up next is Lockdown, and Lockdown was my 4th Studio Series figure altogether, and right now I just gave him a Generations blaster, but I really dig him. His alt mode, after getting more deluxes, his alt mode does seem a little large, but I'm really not worried about it. And his robot mode seems a little small. So, I mean, they just really had to find that middle ground because of the scaling and stuff for the movie, and I think they did a really good job. I'm actually very happy with this Lockdown figure. Yeah, I don't know really what else to say. I just kind of wish that the hook wasn't so awkward. That's kind of it. Like, I don't even like this. Why couldn't they just make it a static hook? That would have been so much better. Anyway, that's Lockdown. Moving on. Alright, guys, I am not gonna lie. This list for, like, ranking of what's highest to lowest to blah, 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 completely, like, it's difficult because this Barricade is, in my opinion, one of the greatest Studio Series figures in the line. I think they nailed the look. I think the articulation is amazing. They got his weapon in there. Like, I don't know. I'm just in love with this Barricade, and I could not put the figure down after I had bought it. And I discovered new things about this figure days after buying it that I didn't even know about when I had bought it. And the absolute only gripe I have with it is that these little window bits right here don't stick up like they should. That is the only gripe. And it's very minor because they don't even do that bad of just like making their presence known. You know what I'm saying? I notice them all the time. And I'm just in love with this. It would have been nice to get some sort of mini frenzy, but that's completely understandable. And, like, I don't know. I had the original Barricade, and it could never stand. This one stands beautifully. I never did pick up another, like, Dark of the Moon Barricade, or I didn't pick up the Last Night Barricade, but holy shit. This is a phenomenal figure, and I really will probably be giving the most praise to this because it is one that I have gotten recently that it really never hit. Like, I was obsessing over Jazz like I am obsessing over this Barricade. Like, it is, I don't know, it's just such a good figure. It really is, and I don't think Hasbro could have done any better. Hasbro Takara, I don't know. This is just phenomenal. So, moving on now from Barricade. Alright, next up on the list is Bone Crusher, and I'm not gonna lie, this Bone Crusher is also just an amazing figure. I never did own a Bone Crusher, but my friends did, so I was familiar with just playing with them. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of blown away by how easy the transformation is, and like how screen accurate this Bone Crusher figure is. It would have been nice that the one came out in 2007 was as accurate as this, but I'm also glad I didn't pick that one up back then because it wasn't as accurate as this. And I don't know what if I don't know if what I just said makes any sense, but it it is just a great figure, and I love the claw. I feel like it could have been re-engineered slightly, but really, it's not a big deal. And well, the only confusing part I have really about this figure is this. I don't know why this happens, because in transformation you put it like that, literally. So I don't understand it. I don't understand why the arm does that. If anyone else really knows why, I've never actually watched a review on this guy, but I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't remember actually. It was kind of a little bit ago, but yeah. Anyway, that's Bone Crusher. I think he's amazing. Moving on. Next up on the list is my Studio Series Brawl, and Brawl was the third figure I'd ever picked up. And I fell in love with this figure immediately. He is definitely in my top 5. For sure. Like, hands down. Just, I never had an official movie Brawl figure while I was younger. I had asked my dad to, one day when he was at school, or when I was at school, he said he would go to Target and he would buy me an action figure. And I was like, ooh, buy me Brawl. Please buy me Brawl from the new Transformers movie. And he bought me a Brawl from the same line about that rat shit I was talking about. And I was disappointed to say the least, but I think that if I hadn't gotten that Brawl figure, the one that I did get, and if I hadn't had an emotional attachment to this character, because I always did want a really nice Brawl movie figure, and because I think his movie design is honestly the best design for Brawl that we've ever gotten, and I don't know, I just am in love with this. If I didn't want a Brawl figure that bad, I probably wouldn't be as in love with this, but holy shit, like, they did so well on this figure, and I can't decide whether I want his chest to be doing that or that. I know technically that is more screen accurate, but I don't care. I think that looks just better, to be honest. And I don't know. The only gripe, of course, is the big old cannon sticking out the butt, but that's okay. I really don't even notice it more than half the time. So, it's alright. He looks awesome. I love the machine gun. Why couldn't they give this machine gun to more people and recolor it? I don't know. I'll get into that in a little bit. Moving on to the next figure. Okay, next up on the list is gotta be, or just is, the Revenge of the Fallen Starscream. And I will tell you what. I never had a movie Starscream. I did have a movie line Starscream, but it was the Cybertronian pod version that you'd have to, like, read the comics to understand. And I always wanted the jet mode, and I finally got it. Now, here's that blaster I was talking about, or not blaster, the minigun that was attached to Brawl. I took it off, put it on Starscream, just to show that this would have been a great accessory that they could have put on many more Decepticons. And I'm disappointed that they didn't. I think that it would have been a nice decision to repaint it a different color and put it on other characters. And I think Starscream would deserve one because, after all, if I recall, in the movies, I did see Starscream with chain guns on his arms, like, inside of it, you know what I'm saying, like, in this bit right here. I don't know. That's what I remember. If I'm wrong, then I'm sorry, but I don't think I am. And I just think that Starscream looks phenomenal. The paint with the tattoos is great. When it comes together, it is honestly a phenomenal jet mode. And the only thing about it is that I kind of want the other one just so I can get his rocket arm, because I think that this little system that they came up with for Starscream is literally the greatest freaking transformation system, whatever, weapon attachment. I love it. I'm in love with it. And the Starscream is just, he's amazing. All these Studio Series Decepticons, for the most part, were just knocked out of the park, and I'm in love with it. I can't not say I'm not in love with it. So I'm in love with it, and we're moving on. Next up on the list is, of course, Lord Megatron, and he is, I keep him posed in a way where he is taller than typical Voyagers, taller than he's necessarily supposed to be, and this is because I feel like Megatron should be taller. He is, after all, the menacing leader of the Decepticons, and I really like this Megatron figure. I never did, again, have a lot of figures of the main characters growing up, and I don't know. This is really nice. I really dig it. I just wish that the transformation was a little easier to understand from time to time, or, well, at the beginning, because when I first gotten this, I didn't care to look at the instructions, and I actually hadn't even transformed this guy for maybe like 2 weeks after I got him. I still have the instructions, it's just, that was that, and I don't know. I do kind of want to get that modification kit that I've seen people do with their Megatrons, and I don't intend to get the battle damage version of this version of Megatron. I do intend to get the Lear class at some point from Dark of the Moon, because I want a movie Megatron in Earth mode, because I don't know. I'm happy with it. I like how I keep him displayed, where he's taller. He should be, and I'm alright with it. I don't know. It's just, that's Megatron. Leader of the Decepticons. Moving on. Alright, this is by far my favorite Studio Series figure, for nostalgic reasons, for just it being a phenomenal looking piece, the screen accuracy, just everything. And you'll see this on a lot more people's lists, is that they have their Blackout as one of the highest ranking figures. And for me, he's at the top because, well, he was the first Transformer we did see on screen. There's his little Squirpanock little dude. I think he could have been a little bigger, not gonna lie, but that's okay. I don't mind. He is just, the second I saw, the whole reason I bought Studio Series is because of this figure. This is the whole reason I started collecting them again, is because I had the original Voyager Blackout back when the first movie came out, and Blackout was immediately one of my favorite characters, just because I thought helicopters were dope. I thought the helicopter that he is, was just the most amazing looking, and I've actually been inside this helicopter that he transforms into. I've been inside of it before, and I don't know, just everything about his design and like the stuff that we know about from the games, or just, I don't know. Blackout quickly grew to be one of my favorite Transformers characters of all time, definitely being my top 3. The only reason why he's not higher than Sideswipe or Ultra Magnus is because of how little we see of him. And so I don't want to base one of my favorite characters off of someone that we only see a couple times. And I don't know, I feel like he is so underutilized as a character, and he should be used more. And again, with this gun, okay, real quick, I think Blackout deserved this minigun more than anybody, because, first of all, what the hell is this? Alright, I know, like, it's okay. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind that, actually. But I just think they should have put something else on the other one. You know what I'm saying? The other wrist as well. And I think recoloring this would have been a good idea, and putting it on him. Because if you remember when he was, like, data mining the thing in the first movie, and the General tried to, like, I don't know. They looked at the General looked at Blackout, like, grabbing the thing and lifting it up. Like, you could see the minigun in his arm, and that's why I think that he deserves that piece more than anybody. But, well, more than anybody besides Brawl, because Brawl needs that regardless. I don't know, and just, you know, Blades as a cape is just the best. They did such a good job condensing the backpack, because on the original Voyager, it was just abysmal, and it was like a third leg, and this, oh my god, it's just, I love that figure so much, and I'm in love with this one even more, and this is the whole reason I got back in to start collecting Transformers again, other than, like, Masterpiece, and that's just, oh, he's so beautiful. Look at him. Look at him. The only thing, of course, is these hands, and I wish that, I wish that they did them better, and I'm most likely going to pick up the aftermarket, but I don't know when, and that is just my favorite Studio Series for sure. Doesn't, like, it's, he is by far number one, but it is hard to put him at number one, and I only put him there because I'm honestly just gonna be real. I'm biased as hell, but I have to. He's just he just looks that awesome, and I'm that happy with it. So, with that being said, guys, that was my Studio Series collection. I don't intend to pick up World War II Bumblebee. That is the one figure that I really don't intend to pick up ever. The rest, I'll probably I'll probably get around to picking up the rest. I do want Thundercracker. I'm on that. You know, the new wave coming out. And just the Constructicons. I'm going to get those. Like, really, I just don't want World War II Bumblebee, to be honest. And that is that. If I can, yeah, for all the releases that are currently out. So, anyway, that is, that's my Studio Series collection again. So, yeah, have a nice rest of your day. Goodbye.